Everyone, I Positive Vibe family, you're welcome to my channel. On today's episode, guys, I'm going to be talking about communication. Guys. I did a video. I think I emphasized on communication. I talked about few things you should I wish I knew before I got married, guys. I emphasized on communication in that video. So guys, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to put the link on the description after this video. Kindly watch. We need the money, guys. So today I'm going to be talking about communication, not with any other person, not with your spouse, mom, dad, brother, sister, uncle, no, but with thyself. Yeah, communication with thyself. Guys, when people go through trauma, stress, situation, circumstances, problems, they finish. Oh, yeah, I love that song. I had it on Instagram, guys. So when people go through those stress, I always tell them, try this. Guys, I'm going to be sharing that little secret with you guys today. I tell people that you don't know how the shoe pinches. You don't know how it hurts when you're wearing a shoe until you are the one wearing that shoe. That's how you know how painful it is. When people go through stress, people can just be in it might not even be stress. Maybe things are just in one position, stagnant, and nothing is working, nothing is moving. Your life is just on a hold, and it might even be stress. It might be situation as a married woman, as a married man, and you might just be having maybe probably in your career or whatever it may be. There are some times that you just need to have some quiet time with yourself and ask yourself some difficult questions. People might ask you some questions sometimes, and you might be offended or feel disrespected and all that, and you might feel bad, maybe probably after you leave there, or you might even respond to them aggressively, or maybe probably by the time you leave them, you go and cry and all that. But when you ask yourself difficult questions by yourself, you don't have anybody to flog. You only end up flogging thyself, flogging yourself, guys. So there are times that you just need to ask yourself, I call these stubborn questions. I remember a few years ago when I was in a relationship, this relationship was not moving forward, sideways. It was not moving anywhere. I was just there. Each time I tried to quit the relationship, I find myself resuming the relationship again. Each time I try quitting, I find myself coming back. I couldn't quit this relationship, and I was just there. I'll tell Uncle, Alpha, when are we getting married? Uncle will say, you're already my wife, you're already my wife, you're already my wife. I was like, you didn't pay my bride price. We didn't go to any courts, guys. We did not go to any church to get married. So how am I your wife? In my head, I was like, what's going on here? But it got to a point that I just needed a quiet time to ask myself some English, guys. Sorry. So, guys, I just had a quiet time to ask myself some specific questions. Why is this relationship taking me to? Is this what I really want? I asked myself those questions, and I waited for answers, and I gave myself answers, genuine answers, and that helped me, that saved me from that relationship, and I was able to make the right decisions. I knew that this relationship wasn't taking me anywhere. I wasn't going anywhere with this relationship. This guy is not really ready a year from now, 2 or 3 years from now, So I just had to ask myself those questions, and I gave myself answers. And even when I wanted to get married, the same thing. I just had that quiet time with myself. I wanted to find out from within me, ask myself those questions genuinely, and I gave myself answers. There are some times that you just see couples 10 years, 20 years, they are just in disagreement. There's problem in the house, everywhere is just, And by the time you ask them, you tell them to tell you what is going on in the marriage, they'll start telling you, is this man or is this woman? She's the one that is not doing this. She's no one that is not doing that. And, you know, there are sometimes they'll start telling you is the man or is the woman or it's because of the children, you know, or it's because it's the mother-in-law or it's because of the father-in-law or the mother-in-law, you know. But there are sometimes that when these couples really sit back, sit down, have a quiet time with themselves, ask themselves some specific questions. Why are we always having this issue? Why are things like this? And give themselves genuine answers. They will find answers. And maybe the man will just find out that, or the woman will just find out that, oh, I'm actually the one contributing 70% of the why we are always having issues, or why I'm always nagging in this marriage. And look for a way to sort it out. You know, there are some times that we need to tell ourselves the truth. You know, people find it difficult to flog themselves. They find it difficult to tell themselves the truth. And that might lead to a long-term disaster. It might lead to a long-term stagnancy. Just like me, I was in a relationship for many years. And I just refused to let go. And that relationship wasn't taking me anywhere. So that's how it is for people. Sometimes you just need to ask yourself, tell yourself the truth, the genuine truth. And ask yourself those difficult questions. Because the most difficult conversation I've ever had with myself was that relationship. That was the most difficult conversation I've ever had with myself. You know, it might even be in your career, maybe you're in a particular field, and it's not really, and you maybe probably you've spent so much in that field, and you found out that you are not really going front or back or side. You know, you just ask yourself some questions. And you'll find answers. You know, maybe the answer you might get is even to improve in some areas, or to do one or few things. You know, you just ask yourself some genuine questions and you would definitely get answers. You know, we all have the way we ease our stress. You know, I remember one of my friends told me that the way she eases her stress is just when she's going through a lot of things, she just cry, you know, and by the time she finished crying, she's eased, you know. And I told her, that's good, just cry it out, and by the time you are done, yeah, you are really eased, you know. But for some other person, you know, might be eating. There are people who eat stress just by eating, gaining weight and all that. And other might be even be sleeping, you know. But for me, like me, when I'm stressed, or I have a lot I'm going through at that time, I just take a walk. I do more of exercise, you know. As I'm exercising, I'm thinking through what I'm going through, and I'm eased, you know, asking myself questions, getting answers, you know. So everybody have the way they react and respond to situations. And the most important thing is just to have this quiet time with yourself when you are going through some pressing situation, and you will definitely get answers. You know, people just keep revolving around the same circle for 10 years, 20 years in their family, in their relationship, in their business, career, you know, issues of life. They might just be in one circle for 15 years, 10 years. Why? They are afraid to ask themselves questions. And even when they ask themselves questions, they are afraid to also give themselves answers. They are afraid to beat themselves, flog themselves, tell themselves the truth. But there are times you just have to, you guys should permit me to use this word again. You have to ask yourself some stubborn questions, you know, questions that are stubborn, and you give that same question, is it stubborn answers now? You give that same questions answers, genuine answers. You know, you ask yourself deep questions and you answer by yourself, you know, genuine answers, you know, questions like, what is really happening in my relationship? Am I really the problem? You know, you look at things, it might even be in your career, your business, you know, or decisions you want to make that you are not really certain about. You know, you just ask yourself those questions and you would definitely get answers. You would definitely get answers, guys. And I've come to the end of this episode, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you learn 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 100, 1000 from this episode, guys. So guys, thank you family members for watching, and if you are not part of the community yet, if you are not part of the family yet, please guys join by clicking the subscribe button, guys, and be a part of the positivity, you know, be a part of the positive family, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.